webinar is being recorded. I want to thank everybody for being on today. We started a few weeks ago marketing Freddie Mac Properties for a master distributor on the East Coast. We're going to be talking about that today. More importantly, we're going to be talking about how you can successfully buy Freddie Mac Properties. So we have a pretty big agenda today. This is only going to take about 40 minutes. We will take questions after the webinar is concluded. So if you have questions, if you look to the right of your screen, there is a dashboard there. If you click on that, it'll open up. There's a little button at the bottom that says questions. You type your questions in there, and we'll be happy to answer all of your questions at the conclusion of the webinar. For those that don't know me, I know I see a lot of familiar faces in here again today, so welcome to all of those that have been attending these webinars for the last 7-8 years now. I've been doing these webinars primarily educational, but full of content. I generally have guests in. I have a guest in today, Lori Wheeler, who's a representative for H. Albert Corp., which is the master dealer that we have chosen to work with. For those of you that don't know, there's about 7 master dealers in the United States. We have chosen H. Albert Corp. For a number of reasons. I won't spend any time with that today, but there's some very good reasons why we chose to work with them. I've been doing these shows, like I said, for the last 7-8 years now. I've probably done something like 500 of these webinars. So if you're new to the telecast, welcome in. I also host a radio show. I'm on sabbatical right now. I'll be back on the air in September. I'll be on Blog Talk Radio. Actually, we're going to go away from the Wall Street Journal radio network. We're going to go to Blog Talk simply to be able to get a larger audience and get more exposure. It'll be on the internet, so you'll be able to listen to us live wherever you may be in the world. If you can get to an internet connection, you can listen to our shows live. They'll be Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock Pacific time. Be looking for those advertisements. That will be starting in September. Okay, a little bit about Freddie Mac. So we started looking at marketing Freddie Mac Properties about 3 or 4 months ago, and prior to that, the majority of our time was spent working with stabilized, cash-flowing, turnkey assets, real estate assets. And we worked a lot with hedge funds. Most of the larger institutional buyers did work through our corporation. We had some very good success in that space. The market really started to change earlier this year, and people kept coming to me and saying, Charlie, why don't you market the Freddie Mac Properties, the bank tapes? And I was like, well, don't really know much about it. I've heard a lot about it in that I spoke to a lot of people who had a very negative experience in buying off these tapes. And it is true. These are very difficult to be delivered. And so what we did was we started spending a little bit of time trying to figure out, exactly what it took to be successful in marketing these tapes, and we did a lot of homework. We had a lot of false starts. I can already tell you we had a lot of false starts. We would begin to work with a particular tape, thinking we were making progress, doing what we thought was following the proper protocol, ended up being disappointed. And many of you have had similar experiences to that. So what we did was we started to really dig deep into what makes it, what can make you successful in bidding and acquiring these properties. And it was a multi-pronged approach. There were several facets of protocol that people weren't really following or didn't understand properly, which is why they would end up having a bad experience. They'd get a tape, they'd offer on it, they wouldn't hear anything back from Freddie Mac, or the offer would be rejected, or they'd find out the tape was sold. These are all the horror stories that I know that some of you have experienced, and I know that because we've experienced the same thing. So what we decided to do is we decided, well, there's a way to do this, but the way to do it is to understand the system, work with an aggressive master dealer who's aggressive with Freddie Mac in terms of making the proposals and getting the counters back and all that. We're going to talk about all that. But we also thought it was important to put together a team, and that's what we're going to talk about today, the team that we sort of put together to help you acquire these properties. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through step by step what we are going to ask of you as a buyer in order to successfully buy off a Freddie Mac tape. And all this will sort of make sense to you when we get sort of to the end. And again, if you got on late, and I saw a number of people just got on a few seconds ago, if you got on late, we're going to take questions at the end of the webinar. And I did record it, so if you missed the first few minutes, it will be recorded. Okay, let's start at the very beginning. The Freddie Mac tapes come out every Thursday morning. We get the tape every Thursday morning. There will be times when we will get that tape Wednesday night. We get that tape. We're going to put that on our website. Our website's down there towards the bottom in the blue. It's www.buyrightproperties.net. We're going to post that to the website it'll be up there every Thursday morning, very early in the morning. We get this tape from the master dealer, which is H. Albert Corp. We do not mark up the prices. If anybody's curious, I was asked a couple times, do we inflate the prices yet? The answer is no. There are fees. We're going to talk about fees and how we all get paid, but they're not We're not marking up the tape. The tape is going to be, matter of fact, if you see a Freddie Mac tape from somebody and you notice that it's at a higher price than what we've provided to you, that just simply means somebody took the tape and then they marked it up. We don't do that. We get it exactly from Freddie Mac. We put it on our website. We do not mark anything up. So this will go onto our website every Thursday morning. Now, if you want to be on our VIP list, and we'll talk about that a little more later on, but if you want to be on our VIP list, we're going to ask you to email us your information. We'll put you on an email blast list so that the second that we get the tape, it'll go right into your inbox. You don't have to worry about going to the website and pulling it off there. You can just pull it right off your email when you get up on Thursday morning. So that's how you acquire the list. So let's go through the steps now. We're just going to go through step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and how you do this. And this is important in understanding how you can be successful in acquiring these. So number 1, you want to evaluate the property, obviously. You want to evaluate the property from a standpoint of the location, the age of the property, what the rehab costs might be. You want to do the best you can do from a desktop due diligence perspective. You want to keep in mind that all properties, even those located in D areas, will be driven up by demand. So in other words, if you're looking to offer in a D area, you may be looking at those, you might be saying, wow, you know, they're asking $10,000 for that property, but I think I'll offer 4 or 5. Remember, in some of those D-type areas, there's still competition for that inventory, so I want to be very sensitive to that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what percentages you should offer and what markets. That's a very important piece too. But I'm going to go through this step by step. When we say vintage, how long has the property been on the market, or how long has it been on Freddie's possession? So how long has Freddie had the property? That does matter. If they've had the property for 6 months, obviously they're going to take a little bit less than if they had the property up there for 2 weeks, or it's a brand new property. Let's say in California, which is a very aggressive buyer's market, if it's been up there for a week, you don't want to go in there and offer, you know, 60% of the asking price. You want to use Freddie's website. I really want to draw your attention to this. This is a very, very important component. At www.homesteps.com, that is the Freddie Mac website. You can see pictures and all other information about the property on that website. So that's a very important thing, and I want you to, again, write that down, homesteps.com. When you see the properties that you're interested in your market, you want to go to the HomeSteps website and take a look. It's going to show you some pictures. It's going to give you some examples of what the property looks like, some details in the property. There's some really good information to be gathered there. You definitely want to utilize that resource, homesteps.com, very, very important. If you're near the property, obviously you want to drive by and take a look. You want to go check the property out, and you want to you know, drive by it and look at it. And remember something, all Freddie Mac properties by law must be listed. So they're on the MLS. If you're a realtor, you can just go walk in and look. Step number 2 is to make the offer, and I'm going to work in reverse here. You're going to get the tape on Thursday morning. It comes out every Thursday morning. One of the tricks, this is a very important point, one of the tricks to success in offering on these tapes, the larger institutional buyers have success in these tapes because they recognize what I'm about to say is critical. You want to get your offers in preferably by Friday morning at 10 o'clock. I know that's only 24 hours, but I'm going to explain how that works in a minute. I know that sounds like that's a rush job, but there's a reason for it, and there's reasons why it still works in your favor. We're asking you, if you want to have the highest probability of getting that property, remember, you're dealing with 5 other master distributors across the country and probably literally hundreds of other buyers. So expediency is very important. If you can get your offers in by Friday morning at 10 o'clock, that really puts you in a good position to get the property. If you get the tape on Thursday and you can start looking at it on Monday and you submit your offer on Thursday, you've really diminished your chances of getting that property. We are going to accept offers for that week's tape up to Monday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to tell you exactly how you're going to send all that here in a few slides. But we'll accept those by Monday morning. So if you get it Thursday morning, you've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday to get your offers in. Now, I can't stress this enough. The faster you get your offer in, the more likely you're going to get the property. We are going to submit offers to Freddie on Friday mornings by about 11 o'clock, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that in a minute. But if you can get us your offers in by Friday morning, the percentage of the chances of you getting that property increases dramatically. Now, I'm just going to stop here for a minute. Many of you are thinking, how do I make an offer on a property in one day? I've seen it one day. I've gone to HomeSteps. I was even able to drive by it, but I haven't gotten into it. How do I? Making the offer just gets you in the game. The clock hasn't even started ticking. You're going to see how the process works in a second. The process hasn't even started yet, so you're not under any obligation. You're not asking me to put up good faith money or any of that stuff. We're asking you to make your offer. Your offer can change if you get access to the property and there's a hole in the roof and a crack in the foundation, okay? So if there's something dramatically wrong with the house, you can still adjust your offer based on what you've experienced after you've walked through it. But the offer gets you in the game. I just cannot stress that enough. The offer gets you in the game. It puts you in the front of the line for that property. Okay, we're going to give you a form to fill out. You got to make sure you fill in all the columns. Those include the property ID number, your company name, the contact person's phone and email address, and the date that you made the offer. Other than filling in the spreadsheet, please do not alter the format in any way. It is written to be accepted by Freddie Mac. It is their form. We're asking you not to alter it. We cannot accept. I take that back. If you send us offers not in this format, we will probably find a way to do this for you. You're going to make your life a lot easier, though, if you just fill in everything correctly. We're going to provide you with all the forms to use. All you need to do is fill everything in correctly. Leave the fee column blank. We're going to talk about fees right now, but that will be completed when you submit your offer. So when your offer comes in, we'll fill in the offer. I'm going to explain how the fees work right now. Okay, yes, we do get paid for doing this, and there is a team. I'm going to mention us and we several times in this webinar. You need to understand there is an us and a we. This isn't just me here. Lori Wheeler is the Freddie Mac representative. I'm going to give you her phone number and her email address. Lori's charged with processing the orders and pushing these orders through Freddie Mac. I cannot tell you how valuable and important that is to you. To have her there to walk this through, to walk this into H. Albert and get these offers submitted gives you a much greater chance. This is what I talked about earlier when I said there's a way to do this. How is it? Well, part of that way was to build a team to do this for you, because a lot of individual buyers just didn't understand it. You know, again, they get the tape on Thursday, they make an offer the following Tuesday, they didn't understand that they waited a week, that's too long to wait, or they didn't understand what to offer in that property, they didn't have anybody to walk through the process, they didn't have all these pieces and components, then they'd have a bad experience. They'd say, you know, I tried buying off a Freddie Mac tape, but I just they couldn't deliver any of them. We're here to help eliminate that problem. Yes, we do get paid for this. Under $50,000, we charge a one-time fee of $3,000. So it's $3,000 under $100,000, and that's on the asking price, or excuse me, under $50,000. That's on the asking price. So if the asking price is, well, it doesn't matter. It's a flat fee under $50,000. Everything over $50,000, 6%. Now it's 6% on the asking price, not your offer price. So in other words, if the asking price is $100,000 and you offer $70,000 and your offer is accepted, you're paying 6% on $100,000. I want to be really clear about that. So it's 6% from $50,000 up, and it's on the asking price. So you just factor that into your offer. It's not complicated. You just factor that into your offer. So those are the fees. There's no other fees involved. That pays H. Albert, that pays me, that pays Lori, that pays the team of people that are going to help you get this through. Provide a verifiable proof of funds. I was asked on last week's webinars both times, what's a verifiable proof of funds? It should be obvious. If you send us a bank statement, slam dunk. That's the best thing to send us. You can cross off the account number if you want. We don't need to see your account number. If you want to sign NCNDs or anything like that, we have no problem with that. But the bank needs to know you've got the financial wherewithal to buy the property, or they're not going to sell it to you. They're not even going to process your order. So you've got to give a verifiable proof of funds with your completed offer form. So what you're going to send in again, you're going to send in your offer form, your offer price, you're going to leave the fee column blank, and you're going to include your proof of funds. That all comes to me and or to Lori every Friday or every Monday morning. And again, remember, the early bird gets the worm. There's a lot of competition for these properties. You should try to get your offer in by 10 o'clock the day after you get the list, but we will accept them up through Monday mornings at 10 o'clock, or excuse me, 9 o'clock. That is Eastern time. So if you're on the West Coast, that's 6 a.m. I would encourage you to get your offers in on Sunday evening. We can get you access to the property after you submit your offer and your POF. And that, again, I want to go back to this. It's very important. Getting your offer in means you're in the game. If your offer is not in, you're not in the game. You can change your offer. You go out to the house, there's a hole in the roof, there's a crack in the foundation. You can alter your offer, but you got to get your offer in. You got to have a proof of funds sent in to us. At that point, we can get you access to the property. Okay, Freddie Mac will accept or reject or counter your offer usually within 72 hours. So if you get them in by Friday or Monday, you're going to know before the next tape comes out whether your offer has been accepted or rejected. You then have 48 hours to agree to take the property if your offer was accepted, accept or reject Freddie's counteroffer, or you can submit a new offer. There's a lot of rumor out there, innuendo, fallacy, that once you offer, if they don't accept your offer, they just don't hear back from them again. You can't counter, you can't make a new offer. That's not true. But let me tell you what is true. What is true is people, if you're buying from Freddie Mac and you are successful in buying 5 properties as an example, they know you. They've got your POF. They've closed transactions with you. You're going to get some favorable treatment at that point in time. However, if you make offers, and every time you make an offer, you come in low, you try to offer 60% of the asking price in Florida. That's not going to work. I'm going to talk about percentages, by the way, in a few minutes. If you make offers that are rejected, after a while, they're going to say, you know what, you're not serious, because understand something, Freddie Mac is not giving these houses away. You're getting discounts, yep, you're going to get great discounts. If their asking price is $100,000, in most markets you're going to be able to buy that for 50 to 75%. Now there's variables to what is going to constitute a 50% buy rate or a 75% buy rate. I'll give you a couple of examples now. If you offer in California, don't offer at 70%. You got to be 75 at least. If you're offering in Atlanta, you probably got to be 70, 75. Look at the area that you're offering in. If you know your market and you know the competition level in that market, then you've got to know that if you're offering on that street, in that community, with that school district, with this great low crime area, don't go in there and offer at 68% of asking. If you know that the Freddie Mac folks aren't dumb, and the buyers that are out there understand it too. So if you put an offer in and you lowball it, and somebody else goes in there and overshoots you, you're not going to get the deal. So be reasonable in your offers. So you can accept, you can make counters, and you can resubmit your offers. Okay, you win the award. You've won the property. They issue what's called an awards letter. Once your offer's been accepted, you get an awards letter. Now notice something here. You've made your offer on Friday. It's now Wednesday of the following week. Your offer's been accepted. You've been given an awards letter. All during this time, you've got time to be doing your due diligence. You can go get into it through a realtor. All kinds of things you can do. So I point that out because it's important. People called me up last week and they said, how am I supposed to get a list on Thursday and make you an offer on Friday? I said, the offer gets you in the game. You can adjust the offer. For example, Freddie prepares the contract at this point. It takes them 5 to 7 days to prepare the contract. So now you got 5 to 7 more days. So now you're talking about 10 days from the time you made the offer to having the offer accepted and getting the contract. When you get the contract, you then sign the contract. You wire in your earnest money and start your due diligence. Now, they provide for a 10-day due diligence period. If during that 10-day due diligence period, you come back and say, it's got a crack in the foundation and a hole in the roof and mold in the walls, I need to drop my price by $30,000. If that's accepted, then it's accepted. If it's not accepted, then you get your money back. Your money Freddie will refund your earnest money deposit during that due diligence period. Once that 10-day due diligence period expires, then that money goes hard. So just understand that. But now, again, I want to point out the timeline you've had here. You made your offers. It took them 3-4 days to get back to you with a counter, whatever. Then you get the award letter. Then it takes them 5 to 7 more days to get you the contract. Now you're in due diligence for 10 days. If you do the numbers now, you've got over 2 weeks to do due diligence. So again, really important. I think some of you, the light's going off and you're seeing what's happening here. People have bad experience with these tapes because they think it's a race, and in many cases it is. If you see great properties pop up on a Freddie Mac list, you need to make an offer on that property. It's not going to be there very long. The people that wait and sort of say, well, I'm going to do my due diligence first. I need to get in first to make. You're not getting it. You got to get the offer in, get in the game, and then go do your due diligence. You got plenty of time to do due diligence. This is what the funds have figured out, by the way. This is what they've learned. They understand this is how the game's played. Contact us to gain access to the property, as I said, during your 10-day due diligence. If you've already not walked in through a realtor and seen the property, you can get in during that 10-day due diligence period. We will get you the access codes. Your earnest money is 10%. I mentioned that. You have 48 hours to make that earnest money deposit. If that earnest money deposit is not in their account within 48 hours, they'll cancel the contract. It's real simple. This is a government-run operation, folks, so they have rules. These are the rules. If your money's not there in 2 days, the contract just blows up. Okay, close is usually, 14 days from the date the contract is prepared. So again, if you look at the timeline of that, you're looking at almost a 30-day process, a little less than 30-day process from beginning to end where you close. The closing instructions will be provided with the contract. You want to submit your offers too. You won't want to write this down. lori.halbertcorp@gmail.com. Would that be on our website too, Matt? Okay, that will also be on our website. So I'm going to go back to our website here in a few slides. You can write that down too, so you can get the list. And again, you can contact us if you want to get on our VIP list, which just means you're going to get the tape automatically deposited into your email account within 5 minutes of the time that we receive it. So lori.halbertcorp@gmail.com is where all the orders are submitted to. Yes, that was a lot of information. I did that in 20 minutes, but don't fret. This webinar was recorded. We've got a really good group on today. I just opened up my window here to see who was on, so we got a really nice group in today. Thanks everybody for being here. This has been recorded. If you want to get a copy of it, you can get a copy from me, or better yet, you can go to our website at www.buyrightproperties.net, and under the Freddie Mac tab, it'll have a recorded copy of this webinar. It'll have the last week's list. Tomorrow it'll have this week's list. It'll have the form to fill out. Anything I'm missing?
A review of instructions.
A review of the instructions will also be in there. The webinar will be, I said that.
Okay, this goes live tomorrow morning.
And that all goes live tomorrow morning. So if you go to that website tomorrow morning, everything will be live and up and working on that site for you to get into. I mentioned about the VIP list. I'm going to give you Matt's email address now. It's matt.castro91@gmail.com. If you email Matt and say, Matt, put me on your VIP list, that will you will then get that Freddie Mac list in your inbox every Thursday morning as soon as we receive it. And if you've got questions, certainly you can call myself. I'm going to put me and Matt's information up on the screen. I'm going to take questions now. I'm going to put me and Matt's information, or me and Lori's information rather, up here on the screen. I'm going to leave this information up here for a little bit, so you guys got plenty of time to write down phone numbers and email addresses. With Lori, actually, we should change that email address in there real quick. Why don't we change that real quick there, Matt? We want to give them the address of the H. Albert site right there. So now we're going to take questions. As I said, we should change that. Yeah. We're going to take questions now. So first question is in the queue. And by the way, if you don't know where the question button is, it's to the right of your screen. There's a dashboard there. Just click on that. It'll open up. Click on the thing that says questions, and then you type them in, and I'll answer them for you. We've got several here already that came in. Okay, when will the website be live? That's tonight. The first list will be up early tomorrow morning, so it'll be up early tomorrow morning, and so it'll be live by tomorrow morning. Okay, at closing, will you have to do a double close? No, these come right from Freddie. So we're not going to be doing double close. Now, I did do a transaction yesterday with a gentleman that wanted to do a double close and sell these to an investor. We can make that happen. If you contact myself or Lori, we can explain to you how we can do that. Okay, what is done if during your due diligence you find the property isn't what you wanted or needs more than what you want and they won't adjust the price? Freddie's always going to adjust the price. If you go in there again and you've got a crack in the floor and a hole in the roof and mold in the walls, if that's the case, they're going to adjust the price. But you know, our experience with most of these properties is that they're not in a horrible, horrible shape. I would not consider these to be distressed properties at all. These are just foreclosed properties. So, you know, I don't think the answer is if you go to the property and you find that there's more work than you thought, then you got to resubmit your offer with an explanation as to why you went to the property, you found there's a crack in this foundation and a hole in the roof, and then they will adjust their price. Can you buy properties in an LLC? Absolutely. That's probably the bulk of our sales on these type of tapes is through some sort of a corporation or entity. And of course, you want to let us know how you want the property titled. Let's see what else we got. Okay, yeah, good question. Do unpurchased properties roll over to the next list? Yes, they do. Yeah, they do roll over. Yeah, so you'll see some duplicates on there from properties that, you know, roll over from the previous week. And by the way, too, if you are serious about these tapes, you will look to buy more than a few a month. I know a lot of people on this call today. We have a lot of smaller buyers that are looking to buy, you know, 3 to 5 a month. And we have other folks looking to buy something larger than that. You can get into the Freddie Mac buying pool, but to do that, you just need to contact us. What that gives you access to, it gives you access to things like, well, we had, for example, we had 8 properties yesterday in New York, Georgia, and Pennsylvania that were so ridiculously underpriced. I advertised it last night. If anybody didn't see my advertisement and you want to contact me to get that tape, it's 8 properties. But for example, some of the ones in New York were like, Zillow's had them valued at like $150,000, $160,000, and they were selling them for like 50 grand. They were ridiculously low priced. H. Albert will buy some of those from time to time. When they get a really, really super discounted group of properties, they'll pull those off and take those, and then they'll give them to their master distributors, which is us. And that buying pool gives you access to that stuff. So as soon as it comes on the market, you can have that sitting in your inbox. And I'm telling you, I was blown away when I first looked these ones up yesterday. I thought, my goodness, these are like you're probably buying these at like 40%, which is ridiculous, especially for New York and Pennsylvania. Okay, the same question again is asked. What's an acceptable proof of funds? In a perfect scenario, always bank statement. We don't care if you cross out your account number, but if you send me your bank statement and it says Bank of America on it, it's got your name on it, it says it's got $100,000 in it or whatever. I mean, those are ideal. But if you get a letter from your bank too, there's nothing wrong with that. I tell people all the time, it's no big deal. You walk into your bank, you ask your bank manager, say, can you do me a favor? I need you to write to whom it may concern letter. And it just says, to whom it may concern. I verify that Joe Smith has $1 million in his bank account that he can utilize to, buy investment real estate. That's all you got to do. A letter from the bank is great. A bank statement's better. If you send me something from a lender, that always throws up red flags, because any buyer, not just an institutional or seller rather, any seller, including an institutional seller like a Freddie Mac, if they see a letter from a lender, they raise an eyebrow and they go, you got a lender. That doesn't mean you've got money. It means you got a lender. And lenders will always have their own protocol to follow to loan on deals. Sometimes that does not jive with an institutional seller or anyone else for that matter. Okay, that's all the questions I got so far. All right, here's another one. Will a letter from a hedge fund do? Hey, Frenchie, I'd love to talk to you sometime. Give me a call. My number's on the screen. Will a letter from a hedge fund do? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, actually, the one that we did, I mentioned yesterday, was a double close, and that actually was contracted with a lawyer who was going to buy it, with the buyer's proof of funds not the same, obviously, as the lawyer who was buying it. So the answer is, will a letter from a hedge fund do? Yeah, if you got a hedge fund looking to buy Freddie Mac, I would encourage you, though, if you're working with a fund and they've not worked with Freddie Mac, they need to either listen to the webinar that's going to be on the website later on. They really need to understand the protocol. One of the things, I'm going to say this again because it's really an important point, but one of the things that we found is that the funds are successful with this just because they understand the protocol. It's really super important. And then on the flip side of that coin, a lot of people that aren't successful in buying off these tapes aren't successful because they don't understand or respect the protocol or follow the protocol. So it's really pretty simple. Okay, I represent the fund. The letter will state that I have the funds. Yeah, that's fine. If you've got a letter from a fund, a bank letter from a fund or something like that, yeah, that's absolutely more than efficient, more than sufficient, I should say. Okay, I'm going to hang here for a minute and just see if any other questions pop in. We've left our phone numbers up here for quite a while, so if you want to give Lori or myself a call, Matt did change her email address. So that's the email you will email her the orders on Friday mornings or Monday mornings, preferably Friday mornings. And I hope I did a good job of articulating that. That's a really important component, just to know that the faster you get these offers in, the better the chance you have of being awarded the property. Okay. That was a mouthful in 31 minutes. I want to thank everyone for being on here. I'm going to do another one of these next week. I don't know what day yet, but we'll do another one. We've had a lot of responses to this. We have a lot of people looking at buying off of these tapes. I'd encourage you, if you didn't follow any part of that, to either watch the webinar on the website and or just to jump on the next one that we'll have next week. So I want to thank everyone for being on today. That was a short one. This was only meant to be just a quick tutorial on how to buy Freddie Mac properties effectively. We want to help you be successful, so talk to us. We think we've picked the best master dealer in the country to work with, and we think we've got a good team of people here that can help you all be successful. We got one more question. Will you be managing these properties? No, we do not manage the properties. So if you're looking for a property manager, I've worked in so many markets now over the last 5-6 years, whatever, that I pretty much know a decent property manager in almost every market, every significant market, put it that way. If you buy something in Boise, Idaho, I probably don't know anybody there, but in most of the other markets, I could certainly help you connect with the best property managers that are available in those areas, and that's a critically important part. And I know usually on my webinars I talk about that stuff, the critical points and critical aspects of being successful in owning single-family investment real estate. And one of the keys is having good property management in town. So what I would say to you is identify your markets. Decide what markets you want to buy in, and then we can help you identify property managers in those areas before you even buy the property. So that's not a hard thing for us to do at all. So just when you know your market, you just contact us. We'll find you a good property manager, and away we go. Okay, so I don't see any other questions here. So I'm going to hang here for a second, and if I don't get any more questions, I'll bug off. So for those of you that do bug off, I want to thank you for being here today. Have a blessed day, and if you have questions, Lori and I would love to talk to you. We always leave our phones open the days of webinars. So if you have any questions, do not be shy. You can pick up the phone and call me or Lori. We'll be happy to answer your questions for you. So I see people getting off. So with that, I want to say thank you. I'm going to stop recording the webinar now. Thanks for being here, and we look forward to talking to you all real soon.